Let's talk about what you saw in the last half of 2009. Now, when you came with your results in November, some of the issues that you raised included profit margins under pressure. You did see a little bit of top-line growth. Did that continue in the last half of the year?
You know, we had 13% revenue growth for the end of August, which was our fiscal year last year. The second half of our year is always a little bit weaker, primarily because customers over December, January typically don't buy. Telkom actually closes down the network. There's what they call the Telkom freeze. So it's a little bit slower. But on the margin front, you know, it's a very competitive industry. And so margins are typically under pressure. But we need a few other regulatory changes to help us also improve those margins in the future.
Now, some of the issues that you guys faced last year included, of course, new regulations that were brought in by the regulators, including RICA. And I think we saw what it did to the large mobile phone numbers, mobile phone companies' ability to attract new customers. Did that affect you?
No, RICA doesn't really affect us because we don't offer a mobile phone solution to our consumers. But it's obviously had a major impact on MTN and Vodacom.
Okay. Now, one of the issues that does affect you is, of course, the issue of number portability. We've seen it successfully implemented in the mobile phone company zone, but on the landline side, it's not happening. Has there been any progress on that front?
You know, this has been a source of great frustration, Godfrey, but I think we're making some slow progress. We are ready for number portability at Vox Telecom. We've signed our porting agreement with Telkom. We signed an agreement with the portability company, which actually is responsible for maintaining the database. It's the same company that's implemented that for the mobile phone operators.
Right.
And in around mid-March, we should be going live. We're hoping Telkom's ready to go, because that's going to be a huge change for South Africans if they have a choice in porting numbers. And particularly in the business sector, you know, when we go to a large corporate and we can offer them a competitive voice solution, but unless we can port their numbers, they're not willing to do it. Otherwise, they have to change all their phone numbers and change their stationery. I think this is one of the biggest positive sort of aspects of progress I'd hope to see in South Africa this year.
So is the process hostage to Tescom's ability to come to the party, as it were?
Yeah, I think they're moving slowly, and I'd like
deliberately.
Sometimes that's what let's put it this way. I think they can move faster. I think ICASA has a huge role to play to try and create more urgency on these important regulatory changes.
Now, all the numbers that we have seen from business, from consumers at the macro level have suggested that the consumer remains under pressure. Are you getting any sense that things are beginning to improve post December 2009?
I still think the consumer's under pressure. You know, we have a business called Atlantic Internet, which is the third largest consumer internet service provider. And we saw a lot of churn there last year. So there has been quite a bit of pressure. We are seeing an improvement so far. But I think there's still some pressure there in the consumer sector.
Yeah. What about on the business side?
We've seen a bit of a pickup. We've got a lot of activity right now, a lot of sales activity. We're seeing a lot of interest in new solutions. And I think we play a vital role. In a tough economic environment, we save our customers money. So our focus is really getting to corporate South Africa saying, let us help you do that. So we've got a lot of activity. We're also seeing some of the major corporates who didn't really spend a lot last year or who delayed CapEx upgrades starting to reinitiate those types of projects.
One more question, Tony. Now, last year, as you said, you saw revenue growth of 13%. Do you think that will be possible this year or exceeded?
I think it'll be. I think it's going to be in a similar range this year.